was young, the little boy at the bottom of the stairs begged me to come with him. Okay, how the hell do I start this? I mean, a lot happened, and it's all very bizarre, to say the least. Well, okay, maybe I could start by saying that our actions, no matter how big or small we think they are at the time, can, and most of the time will, leave a lasting impact on both ourselves and the ones around us. You've heard of the butterfly effect, right? Where a butterfly flaps its little wings on one half of the world, and on the other side, somewhere in South America or something, a hurricane kicks up. Well, it's sort of like that. Or maybe think of it like a game of chess. You may think that one little pawn couldn't make that big of a difference if you fuck up a move, but then, come to find out, that little pawn could have made the difference between checkmate and winning the game. That's sort of what it was like, what happened to me. It was something that seemed so small at one time, but became something much bigger and much scarier later in life. Growing up, me and my family lived in a secluded area in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. We'd moved down from Dallas about 2 years before. It was me, my mom, and my dad living in a large 2-story house that was about a 30-minute walk or 10-minute drive from any other houses. Obviously, it was quiet, peaceful, the way we preferred it. Well, the way my folks preferred it anyway. Getting away from the noise, they used to tell me when I'd ask why. Of course, the isolation, plus the fact that my parents were almost always working, meant I spent a lot of time by myself, playing with my action figures or running around the backyard with my laser tag gear, blasting Terminators. My dad showed me that movie way too early. And because of our isolation, it was rare, usually only one weekend every 2 months or so, that I'd be able to have a friend from school over for a sleepover. In other words, I was bored and lonely as hell. One night, I was brushing my teeth and getting ready for bed when I heard it. It sounded like a child was sobbing. It was soft, so I didn't notice it first until I turned the sink off. I could hear it coming from the stairway. "Hello?" I called out softly. There was no answer. I peered out of the bathroom and called out again. The hallway was dark, meaning my folks had already gone to bed. This made me curious, while at the same time a bit nervous. Who, if not my parents, was making that noise? Who was in my house? "Who's there?" I called out into the dark hallway. Still nothing in the hallway replied except for the pitiful sobbing. Very slowly, I took a shaking step into the hallway, then another, and another, slowly inching my way to the stairs. The crying got louder the closer I came. "Who's there? What are you doing in my house?" I was at the top of the stairs. The end was completely dark, making it impossible for me to see anything or anyone. The crying seemed to die down a bit. "Hello? Who's down there? And why are you sad?" "I'm lonely," the voice whimpered in reply. It sounded like it was the voice of someone a couple of years younger than me at the time. I was 13. "I'm lonely, and nobody ever wants to be there for me to play with." The sobbing then resumed. I stood frozen at the top of the stairs, wasn't sure what to do. If anything, I was stuck between either dashing back to my room and burying myself in the covers, hoping this was just my tired head screwing with me, and wanting to run to Mom and Dad, telling them someone was in the house. But then again, "Who are you?" "I'm Tommy," the voice whimpered, sniffling. I cleared my throat and said, "Hi, Tommy. I'm Landon." The voice sniffled again, trying to clear itself up. "Hey, where are you anyway? I can't see you. Come down here, and you'll be able to see me." I was actually about to step forward when I asked, "Okay, but why can't you come up here?" I can't. You have to come down. Can you please come down? I stopped and stepped back from the stairs. Something, I don't know what, but something felt, I don't know, off. Why couldn't he come up the stairs? Why couldn't I see him? Hell, how did he get into my house, and what did he mean by no one wanted to be around for him to play with? Why does he want me to come downstairs so badly? With all that in mind, I stepped away and quickly made a break from my room, telling him I'd be right back. Almost immediately, I could hear him start crying again. I ran in and grabbed my cheap little green lantern flashlight I'd had since I was 5 and went back to the stairs. I clicked the light on, and the sobbing seemed to just abruptly die. "Hello?" I called to the bottom of the stairs. "Tommy, you there?" I shined my light all around the bottom of the stairs. Neither anybody or anything was there. There were no traces of anything being there to begin with either. "Hey, Tommy, where'd you go?" Silence. He was just there, I thought, as I slowly took a step down the first stair. Where'd he go? Is he somewhere else in the house? The living room, maybe? My heart started quickening. Where was he? Who was this person or kid, really? How and why were they in my house, and what did they want with me? Still shaking, I started down the stairs, passing my light all around. Nothing was there. "Hello? Tommy? Where are you? Where'd you go?" Silence. From the top of the stairs behind me, I heard a voice call out, "Who's Tommy?" My heart skipped a beat. I jumped to look back and see Mom standing at the top of the stairs in her nightgown. "What are you doing down there?" she asked. "There was a little boy down here," I replied awkwardly. Even as young as I was, I knew how stupid I sounded. "What?" "Yeah, there was a little boy crying down here. He's gone, though." For a moment, me and Mom just stood there, staring at each other from opposite ends of the stairs. Finally, she rubbed her head, yawned, told me to go back to bed before heading back to her and Dad's room. Once she was gone, I made one last pass of the light around the bottom of the stairs before heading back up into my room. I guess because what happened was so short, so brief, or maybe because it was so weird, I ended up forgetting about it almost immediately as soon as I went back to my room. It was like that for a few days after, too. Tommy, or whoever, maybe whatever he was just a lost memory, floating around at the furthest part of my mind. That is, until that Friday night. See, because it was the weekend, I was allowed to stay up a bit later, until midnight at least. It was about 10:45 or 11, watching TV in my room, when I heard the sobbing again. Like last time, it took me a minute to register it, and I had to mute the TV. But it was there. Again, I peered out of my room, seeing only a dark, empty hallway. Hello?" I called out nervously. "Who's there?" The crying just continued. I grabbed my flashlight and hesitantly made my way to the stairs again. "You left," I heard softly from the bottom of the stairs. I stopped, now about a foot from the entry of the stairway. "You don't want me. Nobody wants me." It sounded so pitiful when it said this. It made me think of the times in first grade when I'd try to play with a group of kids at recess only for them to tell me to go away. It sounded wounded. It sounded painful. I began, still not sure what to say or do. Like last time, I wasn't sure if what I was even hearing was real. "You don't remember me, do you?" I hesitated before answering. No." I felt bad, as well as a bit anxious saying that. Can you remind me?" I chuckled nervously and added, "I'm sorry, see, I'm pretty bad with me." "Tommy, remember?" the voice said, interrupting me. I actually did remember then. Slowly, the events from a few nights before replayed in my mind. "You're Landon, and you left me alone. You left me all alone, just like they did." "They?" I asked, now confused as well as nervous. "Who?" They didn't want me, so they left me. And now I'm stuck here in the dark. I heard him start bawling as he said, I'm so lonely. It's cold. I don't want to be here all alone anymore. My heart ripped in half listening to this. My mouth hung like a brick of lead been tied to it, my tongue feeling swollen in my mouth. What was I supposed to say? I wanted to cry out to him that I was here, that he wasn't alone. I wanted to run over and squeeze him in the tightest bear hug possible. But at the same time, I wanted to run back to my room again, forgetting about this yet again. I mean, what was even going on? Who was this kid? Why couldn't I see him? How are you stuck? I finally managed to ask, stepping closer to the stairway again. Why can't you leave? You left me all alone, just like them. You forgot about me, just like they did. No one wanted to be my friend. Who did? What do you mean? To this, I got no answer, only more crying. Please don't cry anymore. I'm here. I'll be your friend. He sniffled. You will? Yeah, I replied, admittedly not really convinced of this. Honestly, I couldn't bear to hear him cry anymore. I guess, too, that I felt a little guilty for forgetting him, even if I really couldn't help it or understand what was even going on to begin with. Okay, I heard him squeal pitifully. I was at the top of the stairs again. At the bottom was just a dark void, like a black hole in space. I couldn't see anything past about the 17th step. Where are you, though? Here, he called from the bottom of the stairs. Where? I can't see you. You have to come down here. I can't go up there. How come? Because I'm stuck here. Stuck how? And where is here? You mean the bottom of the stairs? No, he timidly explained. I mean here in the dark. That's why you can't see me. You can't see me just like they couldn't anymore when they left me. Who? I asked, growing agitated. I was getting annoyed with this. Why was he being so vague? Who was he talking about? How was he stuck in the dark? What did that even mean? I heard his crying again, this time joined in with what sounded like the laughter of other kids. My body went still again. What the? I want to play, guys, I heard Tommy's voice say. I heard the kids laughing again, still mixed with Tommy's faint sobbing in the background. Let's hide in the woods, I heard another voice, one that wasn't Tommy, exclaim, Tommy's it! The laughter got louder and louder, like it was actually coming from the stairs. I actually had to close my eyes and cover my ears. My heart raced faster and faster in my chest, the closer they seemed to get. I then heard Tommy's little voice counting down from 10 before calling out, Ready or not, here I come! The sound seemed to grow more and more distant, save for Tommy's voice. That's when I opened my eyes to find that unconsciously, I had actually descended the stairs. I was about halfway down the stairs, and everything was dark around me. I felt like I'd just walked into a cave that seemed to swallow the little speck of light that shone down from the top. Still, I couldn't seem to stop myself from going further down. As I went down further, I continued to hear Tommy calling for the others to come out wherever you are. For a while after, all I could hear was Tommy's soft crying getting louder while at the same time hearing his callings get softer, drowned out by the sobbing. Guys, I heard the little voice call out. Come on, guys, this isn't fun anymore. He sounded scared now. The sobbing was now all around me, almost seeming to engulf me. I heard him continue like this, calling out to the others, becoming more and more frightened each time. Guys, I'm scared. Please come out. I wanted to run back, to just bolt back to my room and forget about this again, but when I turned around, I saw that the top of the stairs had now all but vanished. All around me now was complete darkness. I couldn't see anything. I froze. All I could do was stand there, planted like a statue, and listen to Tommy's frightened voice continue to fade into his ambient sobbing. What's going on? I finally cried out, my blood now all but frozen solid. You still don't remember, do you? His voice was cold when he said this, bitter. I could feel both the anguish and venom from it spreading throughout my body. Remember what? I heard his voice again, screaming, pleading. Ronnie! Harold! Ronnie? Harold? That was when something came to me. It was a sense of familiarity. I knew those names. But Landon! I heard him scream this. Now my heart did stop. Where are you? You left me alone. You left me all alone. You, Ronnie, and Harry did. You all left me behind and forgot about me. What are you talking about? I don't even know you. What do you mean I left you? My head was spinning in every possible direction. My mind couldn't seem to keep up with itself. None of this was making sense. Why was I hearing this? Why was Tommy doing this to me? Who the hell is Tommy? Then I heard something that scared me more than anything else I was hearing at the moment. I gotta head home. See you guys tomorrow. What the fuck? No, that's not. But it was. It was me. My voice. It sounded much younger, but even still, it was me. That jog your memory? Or did you forget the sound of your own voice, too? What? How? I stammered. I was lost now. Completely, hopelessly lost. What could I say? What should I say? He was right about one thing. I couldn't remember any of this. What memory? I cried out to the darkness, now engulfing me in every direction. What are you doing, huh? Why are you doing this? I could feel tears stinging my eyes. What are you wanting me to say? I don't know what you want from me. I just want to have my friend. That's all I always wanted. I want to not be alone here anymore. Alone where? In the dark. I want someone here with me. I want you here with me, Landy man. How do you? That's right, he said, chastising me. I remember the name Ronnie always teased you with, but I'll bet you didn't. Despite my heart having long since stopped by now, my entire body was shaking, quivering. My lungs were flaccid. My tongue was swollen, feeling too big for my mouth. He was right again. They're here too. That was when I heard the other voices again. From my right, I could hear one of them call out, Have no fear, Landy man is here. Ronald? Ronnie? Ronnie boy? My jaw went numb when I said this. From my right, I could hear the other say, Here comes Landy man, the funny man. I covered my ears. Stop it! I screamed. Despite this, I still heard their voices. A flurry of images coming from the farthest, darkest parts of my mind started flashing like a slideshow. I could see me and 3 other kids, my friends, riding bikes down the street. Remember the old days, Landon? Another series of moments flashed. This time it was me and the others shooting bottle rockets off in my front yard. It was poorly positioned. We ended up shooting it off, sending it through the windshield of my dad's truck. Dad was pissed and demanded to know who did it. I was about to fess up, prepare for the ass beating of the century, when one of the others piped up, taking the blame for me. I did it, Mr. Ferris. I heard the voice. Tommy's voice. Say. That's when both my heart and brain both just plummeted into my stomach, at the same time as a cold wave seemed to slap across my body. It's the best way I can describe it. What the feeling of experience, of revelation, of realization is like. I was remembering. I stuttered. Say it, Landon. Thomas. Tomboy. A single tear rolled down my face saying that. I could see him. I remembered him. Little Tomboy. Tommy the bite-sized gun. Tommy's pocket. All of it. I could remember. You remember me now? I choked, full of tears. Yes. In my mind, I could see him. A short, round-faced, pudgy little boy with a smile that could have made a killing with TV commercials. At least that's what I used to tell him back then. I remember. I choked out, shuddering. I remember you. You do? Yeah. You were always the one to stick up for me in school. You'd always get stuffed in the trash can for it, but I'd get you back out. You used to sneak snacks from the snack bar in the gym at school, and we'd pig out and read comic books while everyone else was playing at recess. It's true, all of it. All of these moments from long ago that had been long forgotten. I could see them. Your favorite thing to do was drawing. You were always drawing superheroes. You wanted to be a comic book artist someday. You never played much outside, but when you did, your favorite game to play was... I choked up again. Hide and seek, he said. So you are remembering. I said nothing. Instead, I saw, in my mind, the scene from before. It was the scene of that day. The day we all played hide and seek in the woods behind my house. It was huge, those woods, spanning well across from my neighborhood to the edge of town. Being so tightly packed with trees, there was little light that could bleed through, even during the daytime. It was practically impossible to see your way around at nighttime. Because of this, and the lack of any sort of trail, the three of us were told to stay away from them. Of course, being the mischievous little 11-year-old I was, I convinced Ronnie and Harold that as long as we were back by sundown, we'd be in the clear. No one will ever know, I remember saying to them. They bought into it, and we planned to go shoot off fireworks deep in the woods. Hey guys, I want to come too, Tommy says, eager. Ronnie and Harold groan. They didn't want Tommy around. He's so much of a chicken dude, Harold says. Plus, you know he's going to tell on us. Ronnie threatens to bail if I let Tommy tag along with us. Come on, guys, I say, winking mischievously to Ronnie and Harold. Why don't we all go play hide and seek? I know the perfect place. Tommy squeals excitedly, while Ronnie and Harold grin, picking up on my plan. We stood at the entrance of the woods. Tommy is about to say something, perhaps how spooky it looks, or how we weren't supposed to be in there, when I cut him off, shouting, Tommy's it! Before taking off into the woods. Wait up! He cries, following after us into the woods. Me and the others run deeper into the woods, still being careful to keep the entrance in sight. With all the trees gathered as they were, hiding was easy for the three of us. From our hiding spots, we can hear Tommy count down from 10. Ready or not, he says, here I come. For a while, me and the others just sit in our hiding spots, not seeing or hearing Tommy anymore. Soon, though, I start to see the sun go down. I knew we have to run home to avoid our parents' wrath. Ronnie and Harold apparently saw this too, because the three of us were then heading towards the entrance of the woods where we came. The three of us exchanged a quick, see you later, before splitting our separate ways. I make it back home just in time to catch the door as Mom was about to call out for me for supper. I started to hear little Tommy cry out from the darkness again. Landon! Harold! Where are you? Tears began flooding down my cheeks. I was scared, alone. I couldn't find my way out. I was cold and hungry and lost. 3 days. That's how long it took. It took 3 days before the darkness took me. You led me there, Landy, and left me behind. And now I've been stuck in here, in the darkness, in the back of your mind, for 2 years. Tommy, I squeaked, overcome with horror. Tommy, I'm sorry. I felt sick. I felt nauseous. I could feel my head begin swirling, followed with a surge of vertigo. How could I have been so cruel? How could I have done something so evil like that? Tommy was my friend. He just wanted to hang out, and I got him killed over a stupid prank. And then, if that weren't bad enough, but I'd actually forgotten about him too. This was all my fault. I'm a murderer. I don't like it here, Landy. It's lonely. I want you to come down here with me and the others. We can always hang out together just like we did in the old days. I can't. What do you mean? His voice was bitter. I could tell he was becoming upset. Why won't you come down here with me? Are we not friends? We are, I cried. But I don't want to go down there. What would happen to me? What does that matter? He spat harshly. What about my mom and dad? What would happen with them? Oh, so you care more about that than you do about your friend. Did you think about how my parents would feel when I never come back? Huh, pal? For a third time, my throat seemed to tighten. Once again, I was stumped. He was right. I didn't think about how his parents would feel. I didn't think about how he must have felt abandoned and betrayed by his own friends. Above all of this, until now, I hadn't thought of him. I'm sorry, I bawled, my voice now cracked. broken. I'm so sorry, Tommy. You're right, okay? It's all my fault. I should have treated you better. I just wanted to play a joke. I didn't mean to abandon you. I'm sorry. Sorry won't help me, Landon. Come down here and we can be friends again. No, I'm sorry, but I can't. I have a family, friends, a life. I began to feel my heart racing again. I didn't know what to expect. So did I. That's when I felt a rush of cold air from the bottom of the stairs pricking at my back. I whirled around and damn near screamed. Silhouetted, in contrast with the void around me, was the pale, ghoulishly albino form of Tommy. He stood there, staring deep into my heart, into my soul, with two milky white eyes that were completely empty, with small crimson tears streaming down his cheeks. My throat closed up. I couldn't breathe. I had those things too, but you didn't care about that. You just wanted me gone. Well, you got what you wanted. Now what about me? What about what I want? He reached up to me. Come on, Landon. It's only fair. Everything can be okay. We can be friends again. Just come down here. I said no, I screamed, cutting him off. I'm sorry for what I did to you, Tommy. I really am, but I'm not going with you. I watched as his ghostly face seemed to sink further in despair before starting to twitch violently. Fine then, I heard him say in an almost demonic bellow. Then I'll make you come down here. He then reached out his other hand and rushed to grab me. Quickly, I spun around and began running back where I came, back to the top of the stairs. The next few moments were a blur. I remember how, despite the staircase being small, I felt like I spent an eternity running up to find the top again. All around me was darkness. Behind me, I could feel Tommy's ghost gaining on me, spreading the chills across my back as I ran. I didn't dare look back. I just kept running and running, not knowing where, unable to stop. Eventually, I saw a speck of light. There it is, I shouted to myself, just a little further. I was only about a foot or so away when I felt something, like a shard of ice, touch my back, and I sprang for the light. I landed on my stomach and looked up. Everything was quiet again. Still, I looked around to see that I was back at the top of the stairs. I'd done it. I'd escaped. I saw that the sunlight was now shimmering through the hallway. It was morning. I glanced behind me at the bottom of the stairs. It, too, was quiet. I saw the floor at the bottom that led into the living room. All at once, waves of emotions, mixes of relief, horror, joy, and sadness, all of them, hit me head on like a freight train. I was okay. I made it out. I was free. Yet, at what cost? For the second, third, fourth, however many times it'd been, I'd abandoned Tommy. I left him behind, my friend, and I'd left him to rot in the dark, cold and alone, forgotten. For a long time after that, I remember having a horrible time trying to sleep at night. Often, just as I'd be drifting off, I'd hear in the distance a faint groaning or sobbing sound. Because of this, I started sucking in school. My parents, becoming worried, ended up having to put me on strong medications just to get me to sleep properly. Even then, it was a long time before I could. Whenever they'd ask what was wrong, I'd lie and tell them I just couldn't shut my brain off, or that I was staying up late to finish school projects, or even I was up late on the phone with a friend. I didn't even tell them about Tommy. How could I? Yeah, can't sleep because my dead friend's ghost keeps trying to haunt me. It's the truth, but I couldn't tell them or anyone else that. Call it an overly guilty conscience or whatever, I guess. In any sense, the fact remains the same. I couldn't sleep, and it was affecting me. Bad. Eventually, with a few more years and a bit of internal reckoning, I managed to move on, and things went more or less back to normal. I decided that from then on, I wouldn't ever move out of the house in Kings Mountain, the house where I was reminded of my best friend. To me, that was the best way I could honor and preserve his memory. I thought that would be how I'd keep from ever forgetting him again. At least, I thought that's how it worked. As it would happen, though, his memory did slip away from me again. Whether because of reconciliation or learning to forgive myself, like hell, or even just the effect of time passing on, Tommy would once again fade back into the darkest, most obscure depths of memory, a ghost of a thought, floating aimlessly in the back of my head. That was until last night. I had just come home from work, exhausted. I was heading up the stairs for bed. I had made it about halfway up when I heard it again. For the first time since that night 10 years ago now. A faint sobbing noise. At first, I was confused. "Who's there?" I called out. I was answered only with the crying getting closer. It sounded pitiful, and I was heartbroken. Behind me, I saw that the bottom of the stairs was covered in darkness, and it started creeping up towards me, the crying growing louder and louder. My blood chilled. I didn't know what was going on, yet at the same time I knew there was something familiar about this. It didn't hit me, though, until I heard a soft, pitiful, childlike voice call out from the dark pit below. "I'm lonely, Landon. I thought you were my friend." Just like back then, my heart stopped. No, it can't be. "Tommy?" "That's right, Landy, man. You forgot about me again, like you always do." My body started shaking. All at once, everything came back to me. The stairs, the woods, Ronnie and Harold, hide and seek, all of it. The darkness crept closer towards me, and I turned and bolted up the stairs. I threw and locked myself in my room. All through the night, I heard him crying from the stairway. That brings me to why I'm here now. He'll be back tonight. I know it. Unlike me, he hasn't forgotten. He won't forget. He's not going to let it, or me, go until I'm stuck down there in the darkness with him. It's all my fault. It always has been. What was supposed to be a harmless joke turned into a tragedy. All because I chose to abandon him. And now, like all choices, I have to pay for it. I don't know what'll happen, but I can't run from him anymore. Tonight, I'm going to make things right. I'm going to go with him to the bottom of the stairs. Maybe at least then we can be friends again, just like the old days.